Um, we're on the draw against a non-companion deck. We have Squirrel, Bauble. Sounds really good if it draws one land before we crack the Bauble. I think I'm supposed to keep. Close hand. I think this list looks pretty good overall. The more I look at it, the more I like it. I think I'd like to go at least -1 Bolt, 1 Teferi. You could play 23rd lands, or you could play something else. I don't know. I feel like I would probably just be in on the endings in Teferi's game 1. Could also play a March of Other Really Light, maybe, but play like a Spell Pierce too. Okay, Flameblade Adepts, pretty scary. Okay, we did draw the land, so I'm gonna go Ravenous Squirrel, Bauble. This is something that you're gonna have to get kind of used to when you play this deck. Is you oftentimes will play Squirrel Bauble on turn 1, or just play Bauble on turn 1, but wait to pop the Bauble till turn 2 to trigger your Anvil. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's. Oh wait, did I exit out? Sorry. I do really actually like this main deck a lot. The more I look at it, the more I'm still not sure about Channeler versus Ragavan. You might be onto something with Channeler. I think I would initially just want to see you test it. Let me take a closer look at the sideboard. I'd like to see like 4 Wear Tear before the first Shattering Spree. And then I think if you're playing 4 Wear Tear, which I think is very important or good, I don't think you need this many Alpine Moons. I'd like to see maybe... Can you cast Ashiok? Yeah, you can probably cast Ashiok since it's blue-black hybrid. I think Ashiok would be a good addition. This looks really good, though. This looks really good, I'll say. I like a lot of the ideas I'm seeing here. The more I look at it, the more I like it. How's that? Are we going? I'm stuck on the second boss. I've made it somewhat far. I've probably killed like 7 or 8 bosses now. But I didn't play yesterday. I'm probably not gonna get to play. Maybe like one day this week. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be really behind. Okay, so I'll just sack my construct here. Can I suggest a channel point redemption of like a 5-second clip of Harry bragging me? I don't know. We've kind of played that one to death, to be honest. I love Harry so much, but it's very important to keep new memes coming in. You got to have a good meme import on Twitch, otherwise you die. Are the Dark Souls no-hit God runs going to include Elden Ring? Yeah, probably. not for a while. Like, it's going to take months and months for people to like be able to no-hit Elden Ring, probably. Yeah, it's like usually like a timetable of like 6 months to 6 months plus to no hit a game or learn how to no hit a game, and Elden Ring is definitely such a big game. It's like it's such a large world. It's hard to imagine it being like super fast to learn to no hit it. What are we blasting here? I think I'm actually blasting the Flameblade Adepts. So I guess I don't need to do that main phase. Surprised no Synth Sack first. I was waiting for that for next turn, because I think there's a pretty good chance we didn't get to get any value off of it, and we don't really need the second oven. But these challenge runners will always surprise you. They'll always go crazy with it. Removing Ragavan from budget region would advise. Yeah, I vote. You could DRC or Epicure are definitely the cards you would play. I'm not sure which one is definitely better. It's kind of my gut feeling that it's Epicure, but I would recommend trying DRC first. See how it is. Is Elden Ring closer to Dark Souls than Skyrim? I would say so. Yeah. There are some similarities. Skyrim is, I don't know. Skyrim's like a game that like I have a lot of nostalgia for. A lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for, but I think there's a lot to dislike about it too. I don't know. There's a lot of like exposition that's kind of pointless, and there's a lot of like time wasters in Skyrim. But they're different games. It can maybe just be hard to compare the two. I don't think I need to attack here. It's just like, I guess it's pretty free to attack though. Am I anticipating a fairly sharp rise in control in the meta? Yeah, somewhat. Like, you know, with Grixis Shadow doing so well last weekend, I absolutely do think that control is going to be a really good choice at the moment. You know, I just 5-0'd with Bant Control last league. That felt great. When are we getting a new Elder Scrolls game? I know, dude. It is. I remember being in high school, and I was like, it was my senior year of high school when Skyrim came out. I loved it. It was great. And I'm like, man, I can't wait for Elder Scrolls 6. I hope it doesn't take too long to come out. I hope it's like just a couple of years. And now it's like almost 10 years later. Still no Elder Scrolls 6. Okay. I think that I am going to do the slide out 2 sagas for a din. I anticipate my opponent having Alpine Moons. That's what the din is there for. And I can bring in Needle for Asmo. I can bring in Pyrite Spellbomb as a removal spell for their 1/2, although it's kind of slow. I think I'll bring in Needle for Asmo or Cookbook. There's a teaser trailer? No, I don't remember that, no. Yeah, I agree. It's likely they'll remake Morrowind and Oblivion before Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls. Sucks, right? Probably release Skyrim at least 2 more times. Okay, Basic Mountain. Neonate. I think I basically want to use the Springleaf Drum to filter the mountain into black mana next turn because I have all these black spells. Yeah, when are they gonna make Magic the Gathering 2, huh? This game has been out for 30 years, and then people are still playing it. It's funny. Is there any difference between Elden Ring and Dark Souls? Yeah, there's lots of big differences. It's also like when you say Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are all very different games. And Elden Ring is like in a completely different setting, a lot of different lore. The Dark Souls games are not open world games. Elden Ring is very much an open world game. The combat in Elden Ring is very similar to Dark Souls 3 specifically, but it is also different. Like Poise is back in a real way. Okay, Goblin Lore. 1 hollow one. Okay, just 1. Okay, so I don't think I can get Metalcraft this turn. Can I explain the mechanic behind the 1 mana artifact in the hand? I don't know what you mean by mechanic. If you're asking me to just read this card, Experimental Synthesizer, you could, just type !card Experimental Synthesizer to read what it does. This is, it's a card that you can sacrifice for value, generate card advantage, which is very good in your Oni-Cult Anvil, Lurrus, Shrapnel Blast deck. Awesome, Wendy. Welcome to the stream. Was the latest 5 with this list? No, it was with Bant Control. We have 5-0'd with this deck though. I like it a lot. Indy just for the tournament. And I'm going to Chicago this weekend. Is Indy also this weekend? Like I usually would not travel to these tournaments, but Caleb asked me to go, and it sounds like a lot of fun. It's like I don't know. Not super great EV. I think I'm dashing. Indy is 318, 320. Yeah. Next weekend, which is that weekend, I'm gonna be playing the Hunter Burton, which is local to me. It's a charity tournament that I've actually been to. Yeah, we can actually make good use of a cookbook here with the Cauldron Familiar in our hand. But yeah, it's a charity tournament that is local to my area for suicide prevention. I've been to like the last like 600 Burtons now. I'm definitely not looking to miss one. Why didn't I attack with cat? I might block with it, right? I might not too, but I wanted to give myself the option. Wendy, thank you for Twitch Prime. Straight from YouTube to subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. To see a bee pay for my trips? No. I think it'd be a little weird to expect them to. It's about doing a card preview window like Mingu has for the lurkers and YouTube viewers. I guess I'm not familiar. I've only ever been able to catch Mingu's stream once because it's like in the middle of the night for me. My trips are tax deductible. Well, I didn't deduct Vegas on my taxes this year. It honestly felt, I don't know, like I feel like deducting a trip to Vegas is just like begging to be audited, you know what I mean? It's like, $1,800 for Caesar's Hotel and deducting a flight to Vegas? Let's take a look at this, huh? I feel like you're just begging to get audited. So I'm probably just going to turn this needle into a food token for a Cauldron Familiar. Pass back. It is legal? Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I don't know. I also did a lot of other deductions. I also like, you know, like what did I do at Vegas? I like 4-3 dropped or something like that, 5-3 drop maybe, and then like spent a lot of time gambling and hanging out with Esther. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't really do any business over there. Like it feels a little bit dishonest. Can Needle hit Ox? Escape is not an activated ability; it's an alternate casting cost. Sounds like most work conferences. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Don't say it on stream. I'm being honest. I don't know, man. I'm not out here trying to scam the government, you know. I know a lot of people do, but I don't know that that necessarily makes it okay. We could discuss the morality of tax fraud on a different stream, maybe. Have you ever attended an MTG event in the EU? No, because I've always been like way too poor to travel to Magic events before I started streaming, and there haven't been Magic events in the EU. Oh, I guess all the pro tours I qualified for were in the States. I actually lost a match to go play in sorry, what was the Japan PT that happened most recently? I lost 2 matches for that. I lost one in Hawaii. I think I lost one for one in Madrid too. I've lost a lot of matches to like go play in some sick places, but I got to play in like Nashville and Minneapolis. Yeah, it wasn't Kyoto, was it? It was Kyoto? I really thought it was a different city. Maybe you're right. I wanted to say Kyoto, it just sounded wrong. Okay, that might be lethal. It's at the very least very close, so I can go... Yeah, that's going to be lethal. We get to go Disciple of the Vaults. Discard. Sack. Sack. And then the treasure token deals 2 more. Blue with the 5 months, appreciate you. Pretty spectacular finish here. Dude, this deck is just so fun to play. I think I'm probably gonna play this in the Hunter Burton and then Band Control in Chicago, but we'll see what happens. There's like a lot of time between now and then still. Nagoya? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the 2020 PT. Then it was. It was a little bit before that. Well, we had 3 cats in the yard, so we got 2 cats back there. This is interesting. Let's keep this hand. So, oh, I actually like this a lot. Where can I put? I could put this here. What a big upgrade. Great suggestion, Chatter. Great suggestion, Minguchi. Then we can't see their graveyard? Oh, good point. Maybe do something like this? Some streamers make the camera, the card art in their overlay. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that would look. Top right. Well, I've got the Channel Fireball logo there. I need to keep that there contractually. Top right of the battlefield. Yeah, this is probably a fine spot for it. I'm not sure how helpful it is. Excel Saga. Right there. I think that's probably a good spot for it. Instead of the chat on screen. Maybe. I think I kind of like just playing Ravenous Squirrel here. I think the on-screen chat I think is very helpful for the YouTube videos though, where like people can like if they want to like follow along with the conversation, they can like see like what I'm talking about sometimes. Yeah. That's the main reason it's there. Text is still blurry. I'm at 32-inch at source resolution. Yeah, it actually looks blurry to me too, but also everything I need to go to the freaking eye doctor. Everything looks a little blurry these days. Just all 1-mana cards trading with each other this game. There it is, Ragavan mystery card. They only have 1 card in their hand. It's if their hand is 2 more 1-mana removal spells, casting both these is kind of bad. But the upside of connecting with Ragavan is pretty high, and there's like a pretty good chance we get 2 because they have to attack with Channeler. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this text is definitely really hard to read. The more I'm looking at it, like how big do I have to? I have to make it like this big for it to be eligible, and this is just too distracting. I think. Maybe it's not that bad. It's not that good, at least. Not sure if we could beat that Murktide. Blur even at this space. Yeah, maybe this is a failed experiment. Yeah, like usually like what we try to do against Murktide here is get a big Squirrel going and Shadowspear, but our Squirrels are just too small this game. Well, if I pop out my opponent's graveyard and put it where it was, it's just still the same problem. Alright. Going to game 2. They're bringing the Terminates. The Nihil Spellbomb. The Den of the Bugbear, cutting 2 Sagas. The new sideboard plan. OBS to capture just the text part. Not sure exactly how I would do that. Sure, I'm a Disciple and a Blast. How do you mentally refresh between each round? I have a like really short attention span, so it's easy to. I don't know. It's also like when you play a lot of paper tournaments, like you just get better at the mental game. It just takes time. At least it did for me. I'll have to think about it. I'm not sure what we're doing with the preview pane. I might just have to like lay everything out. But I like the more minimalistic layout we have already. It's a window. OBS can capture part of a window. OBS can capture windows on every application I've ever used besides Magic Online. OBS is just incapable of this is a display capture, not a screen, not a window capture like you would do for any other game you play, which is always a bit annoying. So definitely great if we draw a red or black land and we can Anvil. Trigger Anvil off Bauble. Yeah, so that would work if it was any program besides Magic Online. Okay, I think I'm waiting on my Bauble here, hoping to draw a red or black source. Nothing to text mode that I found. I assume it has something to do with the programming 22 years old. Yeah, I think so too. There is that new company that is handling Magic Online. That would be definitely a nice upgrade. I think it'd be in Wizards' best interest to make it easier to stream. I will also say that a lot of us come from the era where Magic Online was really bad. But it has definitely come a long way. It has really definitely come a long way. Alright, land. Okay. Did find the land. Pretty sure we're just making a token this turn. Probably get a mountain or a swamp here pretty easily too. Let me get a mountain. I guess swamp is better if they are gonna Blood Moon me though. But I also I've got blast in my hand. I think I'm just blocking with Disciple here. Yeah, it used to look like Solitaire on Windows. Absolutely. Yeah, the dailies. Yeah, I've had my account for almost 10 years now. Which is not as long as a lot of people. Wait, it used to be a lot worse than this? Yes. It used to look worse, and it used to be way buggier and laggier. And there also weren't leagues for a long time too, and the leagues have been a huge quality of life improvement too. Yeah, I'm getting all unzipped. I'm getting all the flashbacks to just how bad things used to be, huh? Yeah, unzipped me, chat. Yeah, I know. They always have the dress down. Thankfully not this time. Gonna Spell Pierce. Yeah, someone said that there were leagues and they took them away and now they're back. I played in that, I started in that era before when leagues were gone. So it looks like a 6/6 Murktide. I think it would be great if they built a new client that had the best parts of Arena and the best parts of Magic Online and maybe some new improvements beyond that, huh? And I don't know. A man can dream. I guess I need to play... Oh, I guess I can tap the... I can tap the Construct to the drum if I want to. I think we're sacking the drum. It's either that or the oven. The oven feels kind of important, though. What happened to her in our 60s? Yeah, maybe not, huh? Does they have Archmage's Charm? Archmage's Charm to make themselves draw 2. they added all the cards to Arena and added older formats, would that be sufficient? Well, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of problems with Arena having like unreliable tournament mode, being generally like more like Arena is more buggy and crashes more often in my experience than Magic Online does these days. But you know, adding the older formats, you know, ideally a different economy would be like super important, but that feels like the least likely change they would ever make. But the economy on Arena is something to be pretty critical of, in my opinion. Alright, so we draw a Terminate. Now that's a sideboard card right there. I don't know. I think it's fine for both clients to coexist for now, but it would be the best thing for the community and for Wizards if there was just one good digital client that people could go and play. That would be the best thing for everybody, and it is my dream to see it happen one day. In tournament play with Arena, I need to start every match. Yeah, the first Arena PT I played, Arena would like what I was experiencing. I don't know if this was regular for everybody, but Arena would lag, and when it was lagging, like it would still show your clock ticking down, or it would show your opponent's clock ticking down, and you didn't realize that you were lagging and like you were being roped until it was too late. So what I had to get in the habit of doing to prepare for the PT was every time I suspected I was lagging, because it was impossible to tell, because all it looked like was your opponent was tanking. But every time it looked like my opponent was tanking, or I was lagging, or whatever the case was, I would just have to immediately restart Arena. And I had to do it like every single match, sometimes multiple times the matches at the PT. It was horrendous. It was absolutely horrible. And what was you know, I've said this a bunch of times, but it was just so frustrating. Like those first Arena PTs where we're in COVID, we're all like worried about the like there's already like all like our organized play was already in like really bad shape, but like the community was like really frustrated with organized play, worried about the direction it's going in. Not that those concerns are gone, but it was like tensions were really high at that moment, and Wizards like had the opportunity. Oh, I should bring in Needle for explosives. Wizards had the opportunity to host the PTs on Magic Online, a stable client that like has a good tournament mode. They had the ability to host the tournaments on Magic Online, and they just didn't. And like my round 2 opponent straight up 0-1 dropped the PT because it was so bad. It was so frustrating to see, so sad to see. And from what I understand, things are better now, to be fair. But it was like that was like the most frustrating tournament I've ever played. And also to their credit, the next time I played an Arena PT, it was relatively smooth. I didn't really have any issues. I think I'm supposed to blast the Channeler. Letting them like kill this to get their surveils off can be kind of risky. Yeah, I know I've given this rant several times before, but it's an important one to say, I think. It's a good rant. Yeah, exactly. MTGO has the spectator view, which is like why like the Mox coverage is so good. Gonna cast a squirrel? They are gonna cast a squirrel. Yeah, people, it's funny, a lot of people have asked me about Kappa Cannoneer in the 8-drum list. It would be so good there, but not legal in the format or something. So they've got Ragavan, 4 mystery cards. This is a pretty good hit for them, with me having a Ragavan in the hand. If they dash Ragavan, I'm probably just blocking, to be honest. So I think I'm just supposed to Lurrus in the hand. It's obviously like, kind of awkward against another Ragavan, but it's okay if they hit me with Ragavan. I think that we should all just be a little more comfortable with our opponents hitting us with a dashed Ragavan. It's just like not always that bad. Especially in like the early game. Although we are, I guess, in the mid game now. I usually consider turns 1 and 2 in Modern to be the early game, turns 3 to 5 to be the mid game, and anything after is a late game. Some matchups turn... It's a little different depending on what the matchup is, of course. I think I'd like to get the Oven and play first. This way, if they're going to kill my constructs, I'm just going to be able to sack them for a little bit of value. Dude, this deck is just, like, become my favorite deck to play lately. I think I'll just play it. I'll play it in the Hunter Burton. I'll play it in the Hunter Burton. It'll be fine. So, I think I probably should only make one token, right? Because, like, it does kind of feel like Dress Down is somewhat likely. Let me see what my options are. I may be okay walking into a Dress Down. Because I'm not jimming Lurrus into this board, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna get a Nihil Spellbomb. Yeah. Good play for them to use the Dress Down now and not before my construct becomes a 4/4. Spike is like the Tom Brady of Magic, yeah, and you guys are all my children that I'd kiss on the lips. Ew indeed, dude. Ew indeed. Ew indeed. I don't know, I'm just teasing. Just trying to provide the smallest amount of entertainment value on this boring ass stream. Any lip kissers in the chat? Didn't think so. Anvil. It's kind of interesting. Tom Brady, if you're in the chat, I'm sorry. I hope you can take a joke. What's so smart about the timing? So if Witch's Oven sacrifices a 4-power creature or 4-toughness creature, you get 2 foods instead of 1. So if they let the Saga trigger, the constructs become 4 toughness, and I would get an extra food. They are going to cast the Anvil, which means I should be able to resolve my Lurrus. Oh, dude, Anvil will be so good to play this turn. But it's like, I really don't think I can afford to not resolve Lurrus on the turn like this. Just gonna play Lurrus Ragavan. I mean, playing Spellbomb is interesting, but the problem is, like, I'm just so weak to one removal spell if they have, if I play a Spellbomb. Destructotronic with 5-pack. Appreciate ya. Just gotta get stuff from Destructo, make sure to thank him. They have Ragavan 4 mystery cards. I think there's a decent chance they've got a Murktide Regent stranded in their hand. How about steal an Anvil? They stole with Ragavan. They stole Squirrel and Anvil with Ragavan. Why did the Bugbear in the sideboard? So the idea is that in like matchups like this and Grixis Shadow, more importantly, and like Jund Saga, a lot of decks like these are playing Alpine Moon in the sideboard, and like a huge chunk of my losses are because Urza Saga is the worst sideboard card post board in these matchups. It is just or the worst card in your deck post board in these matchups. They have so many ways to just like trounce your Urza Sagas. So the idea is that you want to you want to be able to cut 2 Sagas and bring in a Din in those matchups, and then that way like they have like 2 or 3 Alpine Moons in their deck, and then you have you just have 1 or 2 Sagas, and it's kind of tough for them to like at least get 2 for 1s off of them. Okay, so they're 1 type away from Delirium. They can also sack the Anvil to itself. Yeah, that looks like what they're gonna do. Put me to 7. This way for 4 down to 3. I'm not in the worst shape though, if I can stick this Anvil, which I look like I'm going to be likely able to. I think I need to blast the Channeler this turn. It's too close to being delirious. I think I likely need to blast both. The problem is I'm so soft to Murktide if I do that. Maybe I can chump block the Squirrel. I mean, I'm pretty soft to Murktide either way, I guess. Thoughts on cheese served with cheese? I have no strong opinions. Out of Lightning Bolt range, at least. Problem is I do think it's like somewhat likely that they have a Murktide, but I can maybe survive with like the Anvil, the food token. Let's inspire on Boris Subway instead of Furies or more endings. I think that's too many 3-drops. We're gonna have 8 3-drops. Furies are pretty good in the deck too. Right hand is Ragavan, 3 mystery cards. Hoping for no Murktide. Why not play Own Squirrel instead of Blast Their Squirrel? I'm like really soft to a Unholy Heat or Archmage's Charm if I do that. EE on 0. It's fine, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm using mana to sack the food token. I guess I'll just do this now. Or I'll take for 1 first. Alright, I got some triggers, opponent. Gonna draw 2. Kind of scary. Sparrow, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. What have I felt the worst matchups are? Well, it's hard to feel like you have any like super terrible matchups because you have access to Galvanic Blast, Shrapnel Blast, just like close up games. I think blue-white control is pretty tough depending on the number of hate cards they have. If blue-white control main decking Chalice is the worst for us, but thankfully I think a lot of lists still are not main decking Chalice. And like we played against Wafo yesterday with a version that was more vulnerable to hate cards, but we played against Wafo yesterday who's playing Rest in Peace Chalice and Stony Silence, and it was just like hard to win sideboard games. Interesting. I'm gonna do 3-1 here. Oh, just 4, right? Because I can save the score with the oven. So I guess I'll just sack for a food. They're at 14, so much life. Bauble does trigger my Disciple though. I'm trying to think if I play the oven. I guess I could go cast oven and sack 2 food with my mana next turn. It's probably like a good enough reason to do this. I think I also want to tap the Anvil. I think I'll tap the Anvil to sack a Construct. I don't think I'm really attacking with 1. They're at 11 life. They draw a card off their Bauble. It's an interesting draw. Guess not a super relevant one, though. So I guess this Engineered Explosives on 0 is going to get me kind of good here. But I do get to go sack a construct for a food, sack the food token for mana. Sack the construct token to I guess I get to drain off of the sorry, I should sack the construct to the anvil, and then I should block the fury and sack it to the oven if I'm not dead. Or if I am dead to not blocking. I go up to 11 life here, which is I guess this is not lethal for them. This is not lethal for them. If I can keep my disciple around, if I can keep my disciple around, I'm like somewhat likely to be able to kill them next turn. They bolt the disciple. Okay, so no choice here then. So I need to draw Galvanic Blast. Oh, so this sucks. I actually trimmed 2 Shrapnel Blasts. I only have 1 Shrapnel Blast left in the deck, and I have 0 Galvanic Blasts left. I've used all 4. Wait, is this lethal? Oh, it is lethal. It's Thoughtseize. Oh no. They should not have bolted until after I declared no blocks. Well, I might have blocked, right? Obviously, they bolt me if I declared no blocks, but they just want to get into damage. I mean, they have lethal anyways. So I've drawn Synthesizer. I think we knew about the Ragavan. Synthesizer, drain for 1, into Synthesizer. And cast another Synthesizer. And then we lose. Good match, though. Good match. I was complaining about... the lack of old border prismatic endings. I was complaining about the lack of old border prismatic endings existing, and now they've miraculously appeared in my accounts. I think we can thank Clothis for these. Pretty good RNG, huh? Pretty good RNG. They look so good too. Those might be the only copies of Murktide again. Those might be the only copies of old border prismatic endings on the site too, or on the program. Yeah, we've got a WotC employee amongst us, chat. Everybody be on your best behavior. Yeah, it's definitely a WotC employee. Yeah, I'm not pretending like there's actual anything else going on. But now can you add them to treasure chests too, please? Everybody deserves some old border prismatic endings. Ooh, Jeskai Murktide. Cool, cool. Do I want a food or a drain? I think I'd rather have a food. Because I could obviously just, I guess I should have attacked first. But I can obviously just sack the food to the anvil if I want. Did this happen before? It happened with the Demi-Liches. We were like really desperately trying to get Demi-Lich when they first came out. And we got 2, but someone gave me 2 more. Yeah, it would be really cool to get those in chests though. First midpoint. Oh no. GG's fun match. I picked up a Murktide yesterday. Literally used your CP videos. Sure. Awesome, dude. Congratulations. Yeah, great match. That was a great match. Probably the best one we played today. You played super well. Okay, trying to think if I should. Is it better to? I guess I get an extra point effectively if I. I don't think I need to get a Stomping Ground here. I can get a Stomping Ground with this if I want. I basically get an extra point if I sack the Anvil here. This is more upside of drawing like Bauble or Synthesizer. That might just be lethal. This might just be lethal. I think I'm just gonna start blasting. I think I'm just gonna start blasting. So we go sack the food for sack the token for a food. Get a 1/1. It's gonna be close. And then we can sack the Anvil for 2 more damage, which we should do because now the Anvil's just lethal next turn. Yeah, 1 away. Pretty good turn, though. Pretty good turn. Missed the point of damage, huh? Missed the point of damage. Ah! Alright, 1 game 1, though. Dinner the Bugbear is in the sideboard because Urza Saga just gets so much worse post-board. Needle for Engineered Explosives and Relic. Did I go to college? I mean, I went. I went, but I spent most of my time occupying various administration buildings, protesting. What was the? I can't remember the whole line from the Big Lebowski. So somebody can help me out. But yeah, I didn't graduate. Became a streamer instead. Sounds amazing. Yeah, protesting the Golos ban, of course. What else? I think I'm playing Squirrel on one. Yeah, I did eat a lot of Pop-Tarts. We were talking about that the other day. I can't eat them anymore. Alright, let's just blast the Channeler, cast Ragavan at this point, I think. Get Mountain here. So you're getting a nice fight with Bank Control. I think the Endurances are pretty versatile, but I think a lot of the graveyard decks like Dredge Living End are playing Leyline of Sanctity. It might be a problem. Dredge is a really tough matchup, but it's also true, like, you don't just play the Endurances for Dredge and Living End. You also bring them in against Murktide, which is really important. Interesting. Glad that we're on the Sideboard Saga plan. Sorry, so we're going to go Oven, then Squirrel, then cast the Familiar off of the Treasure. But I guess, like, they just don't have a they actually just don't have a removal spell because they would have cast it already. So we get to get our Squirrel out of Bolt range. With turn 1, Oven into Cat, then Squirrel be better. So the idea behind playing Squirrel first is that it gets to become a 3/3 on turn 2. But yeah, playing Cat first is maybe just better against removal. Or maybe playing Oven first is better because of removal. When should you play Endurance versus Murktide? When they want to cast Wander Trick to your Sea? It all depends, right? There's not like a super specific timing. All right, let's sack this so we can kill them. Not, I guess, literally killing them this turn, but I'm gonna just double Galvanic Blast them down to 2. And then I've got a Cat with 2 food tokens in play and a Shrapnel Blast. Is Reanimator in a bad spot? Seems a while since I've seen some variants. Well, it mostly just like didn't really get any new cards except maybe Kaito, but probably not Kaito. So I haven't been working on it. I do actually think that Reanimator's not in a bad spot though, because for the most part, I think people are packing more artifact hate than they are graveyard hate, and more Titan hate too. So it's probably actually like a reasonably well positioned deck at the moment. Obviously, you still have to pick your variant. I think Esper Ephemerate's the best of them. Okay, you can keep this. Is Tron Titan a bad matchup? I think it's unfavorable, but the blasts really help you in those matchups. Like those matchups are really tough if you don't play like all the burn spells. But I still think they're unfavorable, but they're not super duper bad. They're like, it's like an acceptable. Dude, is this the third Murktide player in a row? I got a deck tech. Esper Reanimator, no graveyard hate. I've always liked the Emissary in the sideboard. I'm sure. Oh, this is Living End. Okay, at least it's a new deck. I don't know if you've seen my Esper Ephemerate list. I really think that Sarah's Emissary is like, it's good against Hammer, and it's like not that good against almost any other like popular decks in the metagame. I guess I should play Mountain instead. And so I usually just like don't care for it in the main deck. I also think that Ending is probably still better than March of Otherworldly Light, because mana efficiency is just pretty important. Exiling graveyard hate pieces at mana efficiency is pretty important. I also have just preferred Priest of Fellrites in the sideboard. I see you've cut the Muldrifters. I think Muldrifter is like one of the best, if not like just the best card in the deck. You can look at my Stream Decker and find my latest version of Esper, but I think I would still prefer, or at least I would be just registering that old main deck and seeing how I feel about it. Good against Belcher too. That's a fine point, but it's like it's just a handful of decks. It's a very small handful of decks that Sarah's Emissary just lights out against, which is why I think it just makes so much more sense as a sideboard card than a main deck card. I know that some people like the Priest over Muldrifters, but like Muldrifter like kind of never fails to disappoint. I used to not be. I see that you're playing in the sideboard, which I don't think is like a truly terrible way to go about it, but it's just not the way I prefer to build the deck, I guess. Okay, they force pitch Agent. Can we beat a Curator, 2 Architects, and a Street Wraith? Maybe. Oh, but they're not doing it this turn, but they've got Waker. I also don't have main deck Graveyard Hate. I would definitely play third Stony Silence right now. There's enough artifact decks for sure. More artifacts decks now than there's kind of ever been, you know. And oh, they also missed their land drop again. So let's Cat Oven now, so we can trigger the Anvil. Yeah, there's more artifacts now than there's ever been, and this card's just so important to beat like Nihil Spellbomb and Soul Guide Lantern. Well, this is just such a freebie here. If you're gonna play the Muldrifters from the board, I would definitely play the full 4. Buy a project thing for 3 months. Oh, you also you only have 3 Teferis in the main. You also would need the 4th Teferi in the sideboard over like the Fluster Storms. I think I was playing 4 in the main. I think those are my thoughts. Bio Prodigy, 3 months. Appreciate you. Okay, so I think I'm not. Making a token. I think I'm just getting another oven. Sorry for the. I don't know if you guys can hear the garbage truck out there. We're pretty close to having lethal. If we don't actually have it here, I think we probably have it. Yeah. Well, that was super lucky that they just didn't have a third land. We are down a piece of graveyard hate today compared to the other days, but you know, it is also true that we have a lot of sack outlets. Disciple of the Vault is also pretty good against Living End, where I guess you have to have artifact creatures in play too, but it can deal a lot of damage sometimes. Kind of scared of Leyline of Sanctity. It's just so good against my burn spells, my Thoughtseize is my Nihil Spellbomb. think I'm gonna cut the Galvanic Blasts, an Anvil, and the Shadowspear. Can you play this list without Ragavan for budget regions? Yeah, you can. I'm not sure if the best alternative is Dragon Rage's Channeler or Voldaren Epicure. You'd have to playtest both. My gut would say Voldaren Epicure is the better of the two, but it is a conversation. All right, this hand is this hand loses to Leyline, but can beat other things. Oh. So I can tutor Lantern off the Saga. It's probably what I want to do. Lantern does get around Sanctity. You do want like one Spellbomb, of course. Like we play one Spellbomb because you bring in like with the first copy against like Murktide and Shadow. I like Chromatic Circus. It draws cards. Well, it draws a card. It's not a bad option though. Just cantrips, you know. The Epicure also like is good at triggering the Anvil and pressuring your opponent. It also blocks Ragavan. Like when your opponent plays Ragavan and you play Star, it's just so awkward a lot of the time. Interesting. Not a bad draw. Too bad I can't cast my Thoughtseize effectively. I guess I'll just cast the Spellbomb. The Din of the Bugbears in the sideboard because a lot of matchups like have Alpine Moons, and your Urza like in the matchups that have Alpine Moons, you know, Grixis Shadow, Murktide, Jund Saga, Urza Saga is your worst card post sideboard in these matchups. It is like just the last card that you want. And in those matchups, like you want to cut 2 Sagas and bring in 1 Din. And then you only have 2 Sagas in the deck for your opponents to get with their Alpine Moons. Okay, I could make a big token here. Seems fine. Let's make a token. Looking at the matchup versus Lotus Field, I don't know. I haven't played with or against Lotus Field in like a month. Lotus Field main deck's Chalice, so it's probably not that good. It's also true if you're cutting the Ragavans, like I put together a budget version of the Grixis Sword version of this deck that we played yesterday. That list is going to be available on Channel Fireball like tomorrow, probably maybe Thursday. For free, but that version is like the sword Doctor Sword version. It's not playing the blasts. You could obviously build this version as budget too, but that might be the better of the 2 budget decks. So do they have Force of Negation? Is that why they're bouncing this? I think I should just sack it. It grows the Squirrel, counters the Petty Theft, and plays around Force of Negation. Oh, although the Barber goes to the graveyard, I guess. Okay. It's not a bad draw. I think I should leave this in... Well, I guess if I sack it now, I have the same amount of damage because I grow the Squirrel by 1, as opposed to leave this in play for the Construct. I just wanted to leave it on top to see if I wanted to Synthesizer this turn. And I guess the answer is no, I don't. Or I can Synthesizer... Oh, sorry, I do want a Synthesizer. Since Synthesizer removes the Blast from the top of my library, which is a dead card basically with the Leyline, and it grows my Construct also. Now we attack them for 8 down to 6. And then if they living end, I can sack my Squirrel to get the Squirrel back. Double Synth. Well, if I double Synth, I don't get to attack with both creatures. I don't know why I played both. Oh, Shambling Gust is kind of interesting because you get the treasure token. Okay, we're 3-0, 3-0, 6-0. Or sorry, besides this match, we won all our games at least. Okay, good hand. I'm gonna keep this. This text is all for first time buyer benefits. Yes, thankfully. Yeah, I gotta do like 2 Raid Shadow Legends streams. I talked about this earlier, but the shipping to Brazil was a lot more than I thought it would be, and so I am taking that sponsor I was talking about. It is a good sponsor though. It's not like it's a sponsor that I would like to work with, and I'm excited for. Should be. I'll tell you about it when it happens in a couple days. I think I'll play the Saga. I'm not likely to make a token this game though, but I think I'd maybe like the 3rd oven. How much is the shipping to Brazil? Okay, you guys can't freak out. And you have to remember, I was I also commissioned a painting of the card Living In for Menino Ne. So it wasn't just the trophy I was shipping, but I commissioned this painting, and because the painting took longer to get finished than I thought, so it's been like a month since the race. So I really wanted to ship it. So it was $1,300. It was $1,300, but I shipped it anyways because I was very, very committed to doing it. But boy, it was way more than I ever hoped to pay. Yeah, I know. Like if I didn't commission the painting, it's like maybe we try to figure something out where I just get him something made in Brazil. But it's already been so long. I'm just committed to it at this point. Just taking the L. A pretty fat L, to be honest. Okay, we're gonna get in for a lot of damage here. Wait, was I supposed to play the Disciple? I don't think so. Yeah, it would have been cheaper to fly down there and give it to him myself, but then it's also like, me and Esther like probably can't afford to take the time off too. How much did the package weigh? I can't remember. It wasn't that much. Attacking for 7? Pretty good. Pretty beefy squirrels. That's what I was committed. I was committed. Honoring the deal. Honoring the deal. Alright, take that, Yorion. So they have usually Force of Vigor. They usually have Alpine Moon. So I think I can leave in my Sagas. I think I've just been like straight up not sideboarding in this matchup. I've also been winning this matchup a lot too. Sometimes I bring in like, sometimes I cut like the Shadowspear and bring in a Thoughtseize. We can do that, I guess. Was shipping 1,300 loan. 13 was cost of painting. No, shipping was just 1,300 was just shipping. I commissioned the painting for 200. Yeah, the shipping was just 13. How much would it cost? Yeah, we looked at like a round trip flight was like I think it was like 400 or 500. But then we'd also have to get like hotel and transportation, and for me and Esther too, because like I guess I could go by myself, but then just leaving Esther while I go to Brazil. Also like I don't think my passport's also out of date too. I would have to update it. Pilgrim, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, but it was my friend Madison who did the painting. She did most of the emotes for the channel. She did the stream opening screen. She did the sub badges, and her and her husband have been dear friends for a long time. She's also does MTG altars too, and she's been kind of inactive for a while, but she's trying to get everything back up and running. So you can maybe look at finding the Bog Artist on Twitter or Instagram whenever she gets kind of back into it. Did Menino win the race? No, I won the race, but it was the 2nd place trophy. Shipping the 3rd place trophy to tutors was like $50. It was it was a little bit less. What's wrong with the US? It's much closer. I mean, I think what I was told from the guy was that like it's like I'm not gonna, you know, it was just like mostly issues with Brazil. I don't know. Like, it was maybe, like, a weirder area. Or harder area to ship to. I don't really know. Yeah, the Bog Artist. B-O-G-G Artist is her Instagram. And so she'll be back up in it soon, I think. I'll play the Ragavan on turn 1. Usually, like, in these spots where you're sequencing, you want to, like, play Squirrel on turn 1 so that if they do have Wrenn and 6, you can dash, kill the Wrenn. But I've got the Galvanic Blast for the Wrenn, so I think I'm going to take the higher upside line of casting the Ragavan. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm doing... So that being said, I don't know if I'm going to do the ship the trophies anywhere to the world deal ever again. I don't know. we may look into something else next time, huh? It may be I may have a different plan. The Spreading Seas may get me, although Cat is pretty close to the best draw. Okay, so now I'm going to wait to bring the Cat back until either Instep or until I trigger the Disciple or trigger the Anvil. Yeah, I guess I could have, like, funded a friend of mine's trip to Brazil or something. It could be kind of fun. I think we're just untapping. I don't like it, but I think I have to go Disciple, sack Disciple, Galvanic Blast, Wrenn and 6. I guess I can. Oh, I can also just go Anvil. I can leave the Wrenn and 6 and play for a turn. I can go Anvil. Yeah, I can maybe just try to blast them with Double Blast and the Anvil going, maybe getting Disciple as well. Imagine if I asked Menune whether he'd rather have a trophy or 1300, it'd be an easy choice. Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that too. I kind of made the decision in the moment. I'm not sure that I made the right decision. I also like, I don't know, I didn't necessarily want to put any like weird pressure on him too, to be like, make it like seem like it was an inconvenient thing for me, you know, because I was kind of, I thought about like if I offered him that, where it's like, Menino is really nice, and he'd be like, "Oh no, just don't worry about it at all. Just don't." I was worried that he was gonna say that, and then there's gonna be like kind of a polite fight there. So I just wanted to just do it, you know. But it was definitely not clear what the best line was. So I'm gonna wait to sack the food again to trigger the Anvil and maybe trigger Disciple. Such an American thing to think, I guess. So they're gonna endurance the Cat away, huh? Well, it's pretty good for them. Tapped Blackcleave Cliffs. Gonna blast them down to 7. And then just pass for now. Love that they're fetching still. But a pretty good chance to kill them next turn. It's also like great that they don't have Omnath. When I get a house, will I do a tour? No. I'm not that interesting. I can't hold anybody's attention that long. And the house will definitely be far too big to do a tour of. It'll take way too long. Take days. Force of Vigor, targeting the Oven and the Construct. So I'm going to blast in response while I still have Metal Craft. Then sack the Construct. I'm 1 mana short of killing my opponent here, I think, because I could play Disciple, sack food, but I don't have the mana. Just going to pass. The Familiar is also like pretty deadly for my opponent. We're probably going to win this game if they don't have Omnath exactly this turn. They didn't have it last turn. Ah! Damn it! No! So frustrating. 80 cards, by the way. Wait, they're making mana? That feels so greedy to me too. Yeah, it's on me for saying anything. Solitude the cat. But I can draw Shrapnel Blast. Yeah, I think it has to be Shrapnel Blast. Okay. I know I've got Lurrus still, but we're just gonna go game 3. Close game, close game. I'm gonna resubmit, I think. Let's keep. I think I should lead on one of the black spells here, since I can cast a squirrel off the Stomping Ground, but then if I want to cast 2 creatures next turn, this is the only way I can really do it. But it's also possible I just want to play Saga next turn so I can get an oven sooner. Maybe make a creature, we'll see what happens. What deck does? I lost to Blue-Red Murktide. We also beat Jeskai Murktide this league. It was a really close match, of course, too. Okay, ending. So they can't Renin 6 next turn. I think I just kind of like playing both creatures here. It's maybe not great with my current hand, but I've got a lot of draws that are going to make me happy. I play both creatures. Mishra's Bauble, Synthesizer, just to name a couple. What's Terminate for if you don't bring in for Omnath? Murktide Regent and Hammer Time. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to put Lurrus in my hand now. Like you have Galvanic Blast and Shrapnel Blast, which you already have 7 ways to kill an Omnath. It's not like Terminate is like the only way you can kill an Omnath in this matchup, but like Terminates are for Murktide and Hammer Time. Love to see that. Love to see that. Oh, this is this deck winning against Death Shadow. You're a burn deck against Death Shadow. The matchup's actually pretty good. You just kill them. Yeah. Our record against Shadow has been pretty strong so far, I think. Yeah, we really hope our Saga gets to get to chapter number 3. Not sure exactly what we're getting. A Bauble. It depends on what we draw for turn, but like Bauble's pretty interesting, especially with Lurrus. You post the list in chat. You can type !deck and the list will appear before you. They're also at 11. I've got 3 blasts in hand, but they've got their silly Omnath. Okay, so make a token. 1/1 for now. What do we draw? Very big draw step here. Force of Vigor in my upkeep. So I think I'm going to, unfortunately, Shrapnel Blast, sacking the Construct to kill the Omnath. This triggers the Disciple, triggers the Squirrel. Bauble's still best draw. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, Bauble's nuts here. It's a 3 damage Mishra's Bauble. Fuck. Uh-oh. Oh, they're going to 4. We have these. No! Come on. These stupid Omnath decks. They're so frustrating to play against. You're just like always reaching out, trying to blast them. Ugh. They don't have a land. Do I really have to double Galvanic Blast the Omnath? I hate it. But I like straight up can't beat a land probably, so... I think we have to. They also don't have a red card in their hand either. Besides Fury. We don't have Fury. Fury, 4 cards. So red source lets them cast Fury. If they draw like a non-red fetch land, it's actually kind of a pain for them to hard cast it here. Wait, they cast Wrenn and 6. That's pretty interesting. So we're making a token. We can make a token, or we can also go Anvil, sack Anvil to itself, trigger Disciple, trigger Anvil. Probably better to make a token. It can be such a close game. They don't minus on the Disciple. They can't hardcast Fury without Fetch Shocking, which I don't think they can possibly do here. We get to make a token. I don't know what they're on here. Maybe hardcast Solitude. Which I think I actually beat if I just get an Oven. Yeah, I'm currently am winning. By just getting Oven, casting Anvil. Realm Smasher, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you. Oh no, sorry. I thought I missed. I couldn't also cast the stupid Familiar. I should have cast the Familiar here. So I guess what we do is we sack the construct to the Anvil, and then I can try to block sack. It's not as good. Ah, so close. So now they get to hit him with the Solitude. It has Fury, 4 mystery cards, pass back. I think if Ragavan hits, we have lethal. Yeah, they ping. So I guess I shouldn't have. I should have just like not got the token. They have another Solitude. So bad for me. Oh no, sorry. And then I was supposed to just let that go actually. I need to block the cat and sack. Although I guess they just ping anyways, so it's not gonna matter. Oh, I would have the extra. Would I have the extra food? That's all falling apart here. Yeah, 80 cards by the way. They plus with the Wrenn and 6. They still got that Fury. Frustrating match. Definitely didn't play perfectly at the end though. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I'm going to the NRG in Chicago this weekend. I don't know exactly where it is yet. To be honest though, if you give me any recommendations, I'm just not gonna remember them. But I'm gonna be able to ask people there when I'm there. Oh wait, I still like the Anvil deck a lot. This deck is still also very tough to play perfectly. Both like games 2 and 3 were so close. I do want to play some more of the